Born Daryl, artist in recovery. 2:25 on the West Coast time in the morning. Wondering what the hell I'm doing up this early in the morning. It is the 24th of January 2024. Responding to that vid that you put in there concerning about Pawn Stars kid, yeah, it was tragic enough hearing about that one. And father's got to find something to get his anger and his frustration out. He blames the border, and everyone else is focusing on the border. And you're kind of right concerning about the multiple entries getting into the country concerning about the fentanyl crap still being manufactured in China. So they're going to find one way or another to get it over here. Yeah, I agree with that. What I don't agree with is what you've been contacting people about recovery here. And yeah, we do have different viewpoints concerning about recovery. I had seen addicts and I've seen alcoholics and overeaters go to 12-step programs. They do the spiritual basis on that one because they believe it's spiritual malady, it is the physical malady, but it's also mental health as well. So you can say, okay, we got to put people on methadone and treat the addictions that way for the chemical at least and get them off of stuff. You can do the medical like crazy, but without treating the spiritual and the mental health component, you're going to be, according to what I had been taught concerning about the 12-step recovery, you're just only postponing the inevitable. I mean, it's wonderful that you're holding up right now as it is. You're holding up with your recovery. And you're doing everything you can to stay the hell away from it. That's good. But I also discovered that when I kept going back into 12-step recovery programs, people kept complaining about the high turnover. Not exactly a high turnover. It's the people who actually wanted to stay clean and sober and willing to do anything and go to any lengths to achieve it. That means even if you have to keep understanding that there is a power greater than yourself to restore you to a level of sanity. And you got to be willing enough to admit that you're screwed up from the damn stuff. Your life is totally unmanageable, and then you go for the higher power concept. And the other thing is to clean house, is to do inventory. And once you've done your inventory, you find someone else to express that information out and get it out and open. But the program also teaches us that once we've changed a certain level, and we would feel it and we would know it, of understanding how the program is working in our lives, not to mention the concept of the higher power, which would even work with agnostics out there, and those who believe and don't believe in God. But that's their version of it. Hell, you can even use a doorknob if you need to for a higher power. Doesn't say anything about that. And if you understood about the history of how this program came about, yeah, it came about through certain spiritual level awareness training. If I have to put in a different terminology of saying yes, it's the spiritual awareness because we're using Bible based a little bit here, and it's a program for those who want to get recovery. They never look down upon people who go through recovery centers or are you know, going through the withdrawals and using different chemicals to get sober. That's fine. I mean, some of those programs we've got out here in California, they do offer the 12-step programs out there for people to understand it's just more than the body's craving for the damn drug, or for any drug for that matter, or any kind of chemical high that you're trying to influence your brain. It's also something about how you got there, why you got there, and how your insides are, not just the physical organs. We're talking about the mental health, we're talking about the spiritual basis there. And this program isn't forced upon anybody else, but In California, I noticed over the past a few decades, when I got introduced to the program indirectly through my brother and my mother, you know, we noticed that court cards kept coming up. The court cards needed to be signed for 30 days to show the court that the addict or alcoholic was trying to understand what was going on and maybe pursue this course. And if they had, fine. But if they hadn't, well, at least they got 30 days and turn in a court card, and that would please the court to a point, limited, you know, acknowledgement that you've got this going on. Problem is, I figure I wonder how come these damn bugs are still dropping. Damn bugs. Anyway, I'd seen when I kept going into meeting halls with my brother before I even hit bottom. There had been like a dozen or maybe less of court cards coming into the donation basket for the secretaries to fill out, record, sign, turn back in. And I had to do that myself. I had to do that myself. Not going through the court system. No, but signing the damn cards when I was secretaries at meetings years ago. We would tell the court that this person was here to acknowledge it. But we also had to make sure that that person was there physically throughout the meeting, listening, not just turning in the court card and just walking off. We would have to pay attention to that one. And we would have an argument over it. I'd seen a few guys having an argument over it. Recovery out here is means everything. The anonymity is already screwed up already. We lost that a long time ago. But recovery, despite the fact we got commercial places throughout the decades, 5, 6, if I'm not mistaken, we're trying to make a buck off of people left and right, trying to get them quote unquote clean and sober. And for a short time, we're trying to detox them left and right. We would have county facilities out here that would help out, put them through the chemical detox, trying to flush out the body of its physical addiction to a point. But then again, you got to follow up with the hardcore basis of saying why you got there in the first place. You had to be self-honest. You had to do your inventories left and right. You had to go back in your past of what traced to this particular point, how it was, why it was. And then any people that you made amends, or actually you needed to make amends to because you've harmed them in this process. And that's kind of hard to deal with. Because sometimes those amends, those people will probably say, I don't have anything else to deal with you. Bye. Even if you had some small part in the situation. I've come across that one a few times. I mean, there are a few that you'll just never be able to make amends to. Whatever was going on through Mr. Harrison's son's mind during that time, there may have been a lot of factors on this one. I hadn't followed through on this one, to tell you the truth. I really hadn't. But I can't say from my own perch that I would know exactly what the hell was going on, because I don't. Yeah, you can blame everybody else for the damn pain and suffering and everything else. But things like this happen. I mean, yeah, we could blame the things happening at the border at this point over here, and that's not going to solve the damn thing. And you're talking about an impenetrable wall of sorts concerning about the border. And I'm thinking, we got borders all around us, and it's still not going to stop the stuff. And you're right about that one. I mean, hell, Canada's way bigger and larger, and nobody makes a dent about that one because, hey, it's Canada. Who goes to Canada? You'd be surprised. But no, we also make it political, and we also make it a scapegoat as well. That Mexico is a source of our issues. And you also pointed out that we are our own selves. We are our own creators of our own misery sometimes, including me. Including me. I have to say it. I have to say it on some things like this because our own past affects us a great deal. We have to keep understanding about our history. People want to forget. I don't. I'm going to keep talking about my history. It may be boring the living crap out of people, but the thing is, we're not doing it just for these people alone who are watching the videos. No, we're doing it for our own selves because of our own recollection. I do mine on a constant basis. Because if I happen to get into a situation where I'm going to be running into dementia, or Alzheimer's or anything else like that, and I forget where the hell I'm coming from, I need to know. These things are my lifeboats. I mean, I could fill up a hell of a lot of file drives left and right. But sometimes I got to hear and see it. I got to know that I got breadcrumbs leading back all the way over to Grandma's house, who was about to throw me into the fire. Or maybe lead me out of the damn forest, or maybe into a different part of the dark, scary forest. Who knows? Got to leave a trail behind us. History. Even snails do that, and you'd be surprised what the hell they do. Or even ants, for that matter. You ever get rid of ants? Pain in the ass. You can get rid of a few of them, but they already left their chemical trails on their feet as they're walking by. And we don't know. We can scrub it down, but we can bleach and ammonia and whatever we can use. Not all at the same time. Just explosive gas on that one. Just deadly. No, but what I'm saying is, we leave trails. We leave breadcrumbs. We leave stories behind. We leave a history of what happened. You want to find out who's to blame, you look back in the past on this one. Who and what and how and why. Reasons why we keep telling our stories left and right. While we keep doing the fourth and fifth and sixth if we have to. And the steps. I mean, if you're following the steps, and I'm hoping you had, then probably you would understand this more and more. So I would hope so. But then again, I'm probably reaching at this point, and I'm probably creating a little bit of havoc at this point over here, which I probably would need to make amends to. I've been a witness far too damn long, and an activist, a participant in the damn situation. Do I blame it on the border crossing? Nah, I don't. But I would try not to find the blame, but try to find the cause, and then have the cause identified, and then just go from there. If there's any way to prevent it for the next person, if they're going to be willing enough. And that's the thing concerning about their recovery program. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to stay sober and clean. You got to be willing to go to any lengths necessary for that. I'm not trying to Bible thump on people. I'm not trying to thump on people and say, you have to believe in this. You have to. No. It's a choice. You want to stay alive? This is one option. You have to be willing. You have to be willing. And if you're not willing, I don't know. But I thought I'd get that one off my damn chest. It seems like I'm an advocate for the 12-step recovery because I've seen how it works. It's a long going, drawn out process here. It challenges a great deal those who are affected by it and those who are indirectly affected by it. Directly affected by the damn disease is when you're an addict, alcoholic, and when you're in a family or people surrounding that addict or alcoholic. What can I say? If Mr. Harrison wants to continue up with the anger and venting out like that, he's got the right to do it. He's trying to find not the boogeyman. He's trying to find the logical explanation of why. There will never be, and we both know that. If you don't leave the bread trails, you don't leave the breadcrumbs, you don't leave the clues out there, they're not going to find it, they're not going to know about it, and yeah, there will be people or things being blamed on it. But it's still there. We have to be brutally honest with ourselves. We have to be cash register honesty about it. I never did understand that. I was in retail and I still didn't even understand that. But you got a drawer, it's got to be balanced. You got transactions coming in and out, and everything has to be accounted for to the penny. Doesn't matter if it's credit cards, receipts, checks, or green. And we have to be held accountable on that one. Not going to like it. There's a lot of things I still like to get cleared up. It takes what it takes, and the higher power's time, not mine. But it means I need to get off my dead ass and get the stuff done. Otherwise, I'm not going to get anything else done on it. So, for that matter. Let's just hope that our own higher powers, our own understandings of the higher power can help us understand a little bit more than what we are not comprehending at this point. And believe me, there's a lot of stuff out there we're not. So with that being said, Daryl, you try and have a good morning, and we'll see how the rest of the day goes. We'll be following up on another log.